What is going on, guys? This is Mr. DeLorean here with a brand new video, and today we're having you guys as a new breakdown for a new Season 10 trailer of The Walking Dead. Now, this trailer just dropped and everything, and it's actually a pretty cool trailer. I do want to give you warnings that this trailer does have some repeated, shots from other trailers that we've seen before, so I'll only be going over the new shots and breaking down the new shots that we got, in this trailer. Also, the images in this video will be extremely low res, considering that, it's a trailer that was, I got a copy of the trailer that was released way before it was actually supposed to. So yeah, but besides all that and everything, let's hop right into these images. So the first image, or first couple of images in the first sequence, is basically Michonne, Aaron, Magma, and Yumiko, and everyone walking through the woods. And this is where they find kind of that, skin person, whatever. And I'm assuming Aaron is picking up with a stick or whatever. And all of them are kind of, staring at the skin going, what the fuck is this and everything? Because obviously it's quite gross and everything to see a skin naked person out in the middle of the woods. Especially with the Whisperers on the hunt and as a new threat. The next image is kind of yet again an image we've seen before, but it's kind of a new shot where basically it's a silence the Whispers, kind of propaganda on a door, but it's a propaganda on Lydia's door to her house, because you see Lydia kind of popping out the door and everything, and it's obviously to silence the Whispers on her door, which obviously is kind of, I guess, might be signifying to her being a Whisperer and everyone not agreeing with her being there because it puts them in danger. The next couple of images are basically Aaron and Michonne, I'm assuming having some form of disagreement or whatever, because Aaron obviously has a kind of worried look on his face, or kind of a look saying, oh come on, because in the actual trailer and everything, there's a piece of dialogue where Aaron's going said something and everything, and Michonne's we don't want to stir more fear up and everything in people than we already have. Then we kind of get a shot of everything of Michonne and everything basically talking to Aaron going, we can't stir up any more fear, and we have Daryl in the background kind of going, yep, I agree with her. Then the next shot and everything, or next couple of shots, are pretty actually interesting, because we have a bunch of Whispers all in line and everything, all in I guess you could say church sequence, or in kind of worship sequence, and it looks really cool because we see all the Whispers gathering around something, we don't know what it is until we get to the next shot, which is basically Alpha kind of doing, I guess you could say, a bit of a ritual in the middle of the woods or whatever, because I see a kind of a Whisper kind of kneeling down in front of her, which is really weird. Could it be Gamma or whatever? Because we do see some new shots of Gamma in this trailer, I think, which I do think it could be Gamma. Could this be all the Whispers kind of welcoming Gamma into the tribe? Because obviously yet again, I think this second episode of this season 10 will be kind of a backstory about how the Whispers started, or at least how the Whispers came to be. The next shot is basically Aaron kind of locking and loading with his soldiers and anything, him kind of twisting his arm or anything, or at least his mechanical ball arm onto his stump, which is really cool and everything, and pretty sick, because this is showing some form of war starting, or where him and his people are gonna go out and possibly start some shit up. But it's really cool seeing him with this kind of ball arm or whatever, his ball spike arm. Now this shot's actually pretty interesting because it's obviously one a setting that I'm not sure if we've seen before, and it's of course Beta, which is basically Beta, and I'm assuming a lot of his Whispers inside a mall, which I'm not sure if it's a mall or some form of, it looks like under a bridge maybe, because obviously the arches that are kind of off in the background, but I'm assuming it's inside a mall, because yet again the kind of, I guess you could say gates brought down in front of possibly a store. Then you get a closer shot of Beta kind of looking into, I'm assuming, a store and everything, looking really badass. The next shot we kind of get Daryl kind of looking really pissed off and disgusted at something, and in the next shot we get what he's looking at and everything. It's basically the border and everything, and Alpha and her Whispers on the other side of the border. We get Daryl, Michonne, and I'm assuming that former savior looking at Alpha and her Whispers, I think, on the other side of the border. They're having a conversation or anything about the border, saying you cannot cross it because we know and we're always watching you. Then the next shot we basically get Alpha looking at, I'm assuming Beta, saying I'm actually gonna paraphrase the dialogue and everything, which is basically saying the borders will crush them and everything, because obviously yet again Alpha basically did kill a lot of their key friends. Then the next couple of shots, I think we basically get Alpha putting on a mask to no other than Gamma, or the new Whisperer, or Alpha's kind of say second or third in command now, and Gamma's supposed to be one of Alpha's main supporters or whatever, and we basically get Alpha putting on a mask to Gamma. We basically kind of get a shot of her without the mask on or anything, Alpha kind of looking into her eyes or whatever, and then we get kind of Alpha putting on her mask and everything, which is really cool. Then the next shot we basically get Gamma in her full mask and then kind of looking off into the distance, and it's really cool because we get a shot of her and kind of, I guess you could say, a new shot and everything, and getting to see her and kind of like, I guess you could say, her full form. I'm assuming this is after, you know, like Alpha puts on her mask. Now she's kind of just hanging out inside the Whisperer camp. But the next shot's kind of really concerning because it's basically, yeah, I think Connie bringing in Kelly after being like clearly very, very injured out, like, you know, out in the wild, possibly by like a group of Whisperers or just by like naturally, I'm not sure. But Connie looks very concerned or anything. I think we see Yumiko or Magma running over to them trying to help them. Now I'm assuming this is inside the hilltop because of obviously, you know, the people inside and everything and how it's kind of structured the walls. The next couple, like, I guess you could say last shots of the trailer, I think, are basically very flashy, like shots or anything that are very quick. The first shot is basically Daryl with dog and everything in the woods, kind of, you know, roaming, just randomly, possibly looking for someone, possibly just roaming in the woods for just any unknown reason. The next shot, we basically get Carol, kind of, I guess you could say, in the woods, firing like her bow and arrow and everything, looking very concerned actually, and very, you know, kind of, I guess you could say, sad, disgusted or whatever. I'd say more sad and disgusted, but it's basically like you see like a tons of fire around her or whatever. So could this be the battle inside the woods with all the fire? And I'm not sure if it's a battle or whatever, or like, you know, like tons of fire because like, you know, the Whispers, or it could be the satellite. I'm not 100% sure. There's basically supposed to be a lot of fire this season, or at least like Angela Kang says there's supposed to be. Next shot, we basically get Judith kind of standing off or staring off into the distance, like in everything on the beach, and we see a bunch of like kind of soldiers training behind them and everything. We get to see Connie and a ton of other soldiers. Now in my opinion, what is Judith looking at? Well, it could be her mother leaving or whatever on the boat and her like staring off into the sea, or Judith could be seeing something off in the distance in the sea, or hell, she might not even be looking at the sea or whatever, and this is just on another section of like, you know, the beach or the beach area or anything where there's just sand and she's like looking out into the distance somewhere else. Next shot, we basically get a nice shot of basically tons of people from, I'm assuming, are survivors or whatever, not the Whisperers or anything, or not any enemies. And we basically see a ton of people, you know, running and everything, also like, you know, with tons of fire surrounding them. This could be a Whisper battle or whatever with like tons of, you know, like lots of fire, lots of people running, screaming, you know, tense moments. Next we get a concerning shot of Ezekiel kind of looking out of like, you know, his window. I'm assuming at the hilltop because that's where he was last seen in season 9, I think, because obviously like where we got that like, you know, alarming radio call from someone when he left the room when he was inside hilltop. But this shot kind of like, I guess you could say, is like a recreation of the shot like, you know, Gregory looked out, and I think season 7 when he looked out of the Barrington house window when there was an invasion of the hilltop by the Saviors. So could this be the Whisperers going to like, you know, the hilltop? Possibly. It's a very cool shot and everything. Next we get a shot of basically Daryl, surprisingly enough, pointing his bow and arrow or crossbow at Magma, which is really weird. I'm pretty sure Magma, like, you know, startled Daryl, whatever. I'm pretty sure he's not pointing at like, you know, Magma in a very defensive or mean or like, you know, like attack of way. I'm not 100% sure, whatever, but it's a really cool shot besides all that. Next we see Michonne kind of looking off, very concerned off into the distance. I'm not sure where the setting is. It's definitely either the, you know, hilltop or the kingdom, or the hilltop or Alexandria, and blurred off like really far, not really that far in the distance, I think, but very blurred off or anything. You see, I'm pretty sure Carol, because you see white hair and it kind of looks like Carol has like, you know, body structure or face off in the background. And Michonne kind of looks a bit roughed up and everything in the forehead and everything, and all like just like she just looks like really worried in general. And the last shot of the trailer is basically, you know, the release day of like, you know, season 10 or whatever, the airing day of season 10. We basically see a ton of walkers, like a ton of them taken down and everything, which I'm pretty sure this is from the battle inside, you know, the forest, where there's tons of fire, possibly a battle between the Whisperers or survivors, or it could be just be the satellite crashing. But that is all the images that I like, you know, got from this trailer, over all the new images I got from this trailer. I hope you guys found these images interesting and everything. I'm pretty sure I did. Actually, screw that. I found these images like 10 times more interesting than like a decent amount of the other trailers that we got, because it showed a ton of like cool shots and everything from like, you know, ranging from battles into like all this other stuff. But besides all that, make sure to tell me what your favorite image was down below in the comments and everything, and I'll see you guys later. Peace, my amigos, and peace out.